tomato sauce.
We are so close to being done with Eurospy season.
We're edging with Eurospy season. You say that every week, and then you never let us finish.
Listen, maybe if you were like good for once.
You know, we're so back. This is more like we're nearly so gone.
Yes.
Like we're
We're
close.
1 foot out the door. Hello and welcome to another episode of Kill James Bond. I am November Kelly. I am joined as always by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Hey.
How you doing?
Would you believe it's another OSS Sondi set movie? I didn't realize they actually made 117 of these fucking things.
Yes. No, they keep going with these fucking movies. It's a new guy, though. It's the old guy that we didn't like.
Yeah.
He's out of here. The old guy that we did like, still long gone.
Yeah, it's still gay and not here.
It's true.
Gay and not here.
We got a separate guy. We got John Gavin as OSS Sondi set, something that they explain in the movie as a result of him having had plastic surgery to make him hotter, which I think we can all get behind.
Can't imagine that.
No.
Completely
of
reasonable.
Mm.
I love them making the changing face of the actor part of the plot. I really enjoyed that.
Also, they dunk on the old guy because they're just like, oh, damn, he's so much hotter now that he looks like different dude.
The whole movie being like, he's so hot now. And like, if you were the old actor, you would be a little bit peeved.
To be fair, they're right. Like, he's an incredibly handsome man. He looks like Henry Cavill's dad. Like,
He's a handsome man.
Yeah. John Gavin, this guy is named. And he was contracted to be James Bond in Diamonds Are Forever. And then Sean Connery came back, kicked him out of the role, and they had to pay him for a Bond role he'd never got to do.
oh.
There was nearly an American Bond.
We were genuinely robbed
Yeah.
of having this guy in the Bond film.
He's quite good.
It's pretty good.
There is another angle to this, which is this guy had an interesting career outside of acting. And so you can do the kind of Jeffrey Epstein, the New York financier thing, and be like, John Gavin, the US ambassador to Mexico from 1981 to 1986.
Really?
Yeah, he was ambassador to Mexico, not off the back of this movie, which is not culturally sensitive.
I guess you don't get the James Bond role. You're just like, all right, whatever. What else can I do?
That's such a flex to make your ambassador really good looking.
That's true.
That is smart.
That's such a great idea. That's soft power, that is.
Our insanely hot ambassador.
Yeah, but actually, I'm mid compared to the people back home. We're all like this.
Only send the hottest, like stacked 10 out of 10 baddies and like smoke show hunks out there to represent Britain.
We have a sort of a policy proposal for the Foreign and Commonwealth Office on this.
Yes.
It's ready to go at any time.
It's soft power, but it's getting harder.
Soft, curvaceous power. This movie is OSS 117 Double Agent, or OSS 117 Murder for Sale, or No Roses for OSS 117, or in the original French, Pas de Rose pour OSS 117. And I think it's the last one, right? Like
some of those make sense.
Yeah. Oh god, it's not. There's like 2 more.
I looked into these and they don't seem like we should be doing them.
No.
They seem quite...
We may pull the ripcord before then. It may be our last Bond film.
OSS Takes a Vacation is a French-Brazilian international co-production.
Wow. Rio again, is it?
Doing a fucking beach episode?
I guess so.
Swimsuit
episode of KJV.
Yeah, the OSS Sondi set goes to the onsen. Like,
The OSS Sondi set baseball episode was like a pretty fun time, to be fair.
Yeah, I liked all the OSS filler arcs. I don't know, people complain a lot.
Big titty anime girls.
Stop.
You can't reference a drop of Justin from Well, There's Your Problem saying big titty anime girl that we did in the sort of pre-recording without me playing it. So
A big titty anime girl.
There you go.
Wonderful.
that exists within the universe of the episode now. So thank you for that.
Fantastic.
This movie begins with a bunch of file footage of assassinations, because this was made in 1968. And 1968 is like a bumper year for political assassinations. Everyone had been like mega traumatized by JFK and then RFK. and then Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, I think, had all been assassinated by 1968. And it was like, this was the like hot button issue, right? Is people are just getting fucking assassinated. This is where you see a bunch of like early conspiracy theories about that get born, but it's also sort of something that you can fold into your fiction. And so you rip from the headlines, and you have some actually quite impactful file footage because they don't do any like audio over it. It's just like, you know, miscellaneous assassinations.
Yeah. It's just playing like in media res. There's just like and then it pulls back and they're like, they're killing a lot of our guys, boys.
It almost belongs to the kind of more paranoid style of like a 70s thriller, like, you know, Parallax View, 3 Days of the Condor, or something like that. There are a few little touches in this movie that signify something that could have been better than it is.
Yes.
But so we're in Washington. We're in the OSS offices, you can tell, because every surface is covered with an American flag.
Yeah.
That's right.
The guy that they are briefing, is he meant to be the president? I was quite confused because he's definitely a guy who's in charge, and he also looks quite a bit like Ronald Reagan, which confused me because I was like, this movie came out in 1968. They couldn't have known Reagan was going to be president.
They predicted it.
I guess he was an actor at that time.
Maybe it just is Ronald Reagan. That would be fucking insane. Right?
Maybe it's Ronald Reagan. I don't know. I haven't checked.
Never mind the thing with the chimp. Like, people don't talk about that.
Listen, it might seem like people are just randomly assassinating like VIPs and political figures. However, there's actually a hidden hand, some kind of shadowy organization, and with the kind of inventiveness that we've come to expect from these movies, for about the 50th fucking time, this organization is called...
We know its name. The organization.
It's the organization.
It's the organization.
It's Spectre. Yeah.
It's the organization, you know, it's the shadowy hand that controls everything. It's not anti-Semitic. It's just to be clear.
I have that drop because Ronald Reagan possibly says that all of these assassinations, right, they're not happening at random. They're being done to benefit, as he says,
enormous advantages to certain political sectors and international financial interests.
Antisemite? No.
I wouldn't worry.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, I don't know whether this is doing the kind of JFK thing of it means like right-wing fascist, like Edgar Walker kind of like business interests. But I also don't trust a French movie, and particularly a French movie made in 1968, to do that. You know, I'm not trusting the people who like made and sold champagne anti-juif to like do a kind of non-anti-Semitic take on certain vested financial interests or whatever.
No, because it gets quite Islamophobic in a couple of minutes. So
yeah, it does. It manages to hit both. Even if you do like a sort of a tasting of the anti-Semitic champagne, which is a real thing, by the way. Like I'm referencing something that was in the wake of the Dreyfus affair, when like all of right-wing politics in France was like explicitly and like virulently even more anti-Semitic than a lot of other places at the time. There was a guy who promoted his champagne by slapping an anti-Semitic champagne label onto the front of it. There are records of it.
Yeah, I ended up seeing this because I was actually looking into it. This is so nothing. I was looking into the fucking Dreyfus affair for a little bit a while ago, and I end up looking into Edouard Drumont. And like the way his anti-Semitism is expressed, it's like they were saying biologist, because they're going like, this man is an anti-Semitic journalist, author. He initiated the Anti-Semitic League. And the quote here directly from this Wikipedia: after spending years of research, he synthesized 3 major types of anti-Semitism.
In a lab, like
it's the image of the guy with the like Erlenmeyer flask. Like finally, anti-Semitism 3.
Imagining my point.
Well, so the guy who coined the term anti-Semitism was himself an anti-Semite, right? And he wanted it to sound more palatable than like cool. What it was originally called, which was just like Jew hate.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a scientific racism. And it's bad, to be clear. So what happens in the movie?
This movie is quite thin, but it's also, I had fun with it, despite the fact that it is dubious politically.
I had fun with it.
I appreciate that it tries to do something different, because you'll notice we don't start with a 009 scene.
It's true. There are a few inventive things here.
And I was immediately like, what are you doing? We're off on something new.
I guess JFK was for 009.
yeah, true, I guess. That's why he was dressed as a clown.
Because it opens with a scene of him getting shot, so
Oswald had the technology of the gun that kills you instantly. Can't a rifle that kills you instantly?
Well, it took him 2 shots, so clearly it doesn't kill you that instantly.
Well, depending on who you ask, yeah.
Yes.
And well, so I like that we have like a different setup to the plot. So at this point, we cut to Rome. and there's a robbery in progress. And this guy does a robbery.
It's almost as if we're jumping into some kind of season of those.
Yeah.
You know?
This guy does the robbery, and then he like sprays the cops and the crowd with bullets as he gets away, and he shoots people.
Yeah, it just kills them.
It just kills a couple of cops.
He gets away with this briefcase full of cash.
Well, as he's getting away and he's being chased by Italian cops in like a 60s like Alfa Romeo, the kind of boxy. Same cars from The Italian Job. If you've seen
At this
that.
point, the soundtrack gives us this jaunty little like sort of upbeat music, which is quite good.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it because it's going to be here for the rest of the movie. However, for the opening titles, it's not bad. We get a kind of like a camera in the car looking through the windscreen of these cops. First of all, I have the kind of wistful feeling of you will never be a 1960s Rome cop hooning an Alfa Romeo past the Castel Sant'Angelo is one thing. The other thing is that some of the stunt driving here is actually like remarkably good. It doesn't really like draw attention to itself, but like they're not doing the thing that like a lot of the other shitty Euro spy movies have done of like speeding it up or anything like that. There's no weird cuts. It's just straightforwardly they got a guy, put him in a police uniform and went hoon this motherfucker around the Colosseum, and he did, and they filmed it, and it was great.
Cool.
And then inside the ambulance where all the people who got shot are sitting, they all get up, which is quite fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a marker down now for robbery season, which, you know, save the date, coming soon. The fake ambulance, one of my all-time favorite genders. All time. And we're seeing it sort of before we even establish it as a thing that we like here. So I'm just going to say that for future reference. Fake ambulance, easily my favorite of the fake vehicles, way ahead of fake taxi.
Miles better.
As the people he's supposedly shot who have faked being shot are in the back of the ambulance, that's when they go, hey, that was OSS 117 who did that. He's way hotter now that he's got plastic surgery. He's got the like cunty rhinoplasty and stuff.
Like, damn, is that a Spiegel? He's looking good.
Get this guy's fucking jawbones in a tower somewhere in America. But they make it part of this. We're like, listen, we've done this guy up to look like a famous criminal.
Yes. What's that criminal's name?
Chandler?
Yeah, that killer's name is Killer Chandler, and they just call him Chandler. And this movie has, I didn't get any drops because it was kind of like a target saturation. There were too many of them. But every third line in this movie is a guy going, Chandler is a trained killer. And I just think back to Matthew Perry, R.I.P.
Chandler. It's deadly.
The deck was stacked from the start. But the idea is that, so we've made OSS 117 look like Chandler from not friends, enemies, actually. He's a notorious criminal.
We've made him look like this apparently insanely hot criminal.
And then we're going to get him recruited into Spectre in order to infiltrate.
It's a great plot. Like, that's...
Yeah, it's cool.
This is good, yeah.
It's a different plot.
We gave this motherfucker facial criminalization surgery.
This is reverse The Spy with My Face.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he gets, like, OSS 117 dysphoria when he looks in a mirror and he's like, I look like a different guy?
They made him more handsome.
A better movie would explore this, you know? But so the OSS, like, bureaucrats, like the various M's and subsidiary M's, are going back and forth in their office like, this is pretty risky, and we don't know if it's going to work, and it's our ass on the line if he fails. So one of them goes to Rome to meet him, and it's like, well, how are you going to infiltrate Spectre? How are you going to infiltrate the organization? And he's just sitting there with this smug cunt look on his face. Because the movie knows he's hot and they're determined to film it.
The movie knows he is attractive. Like, every shot of him is so fawningly done. Like, they're putting Vaseline on it for the male star, you know?
Yeah, and he's like,
great stuff.
I'm not going to do shit. They're going to come to me.
I'm going to wait.
I'm going to infiltrate them dick first by shagging a sexy lady.
He's looking at 8x10 glossy photographs of women.
He's just figuring out which woman to fuck will allow him to infiltrate a criminal organization.
Yes.
This was not a tactic that was good or legal when the British cops did it. It's not good or legal here.
Yeah, that is
certainly
bad.
not.
We also find out that the director has a foot fetish because the next shot is like this woman in bed with him with a mirror very Tarantino-ly posed, aiming directly at the feet. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have shagged and he is ostensibly asleep in bed. And she picks up the newspaper and there's a picture of him on the front page being like, oh, it's Chandler from Enemies. He's a criminal.
There's something I really like about this and something which you don't really see done in other things, which is
It's really good.
she is then like sort of edging for the phone while he's asleep and she's trying not to wake him up.
She gets briefly like protagonized, you know, like it's shot like he's a really threatening presence in the room. And I really, really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Even the movies that like kind of gesture at it don't really commit to shooting their Bond or pseudo Bond as an object of horror, right? And this one does, because like
yeah, he like stirs in his sleep and we see her like freeze up and everything. Like
it's great.
it's like the opening of The Invisible Man or whatever, The Empty Man. Not The Empty Man. What's it called? Fuck.
I don't know, some kind of man, the Illustrated Man.
Whatever the most recent Invisible Man is.
The Bicentennial Man.
You should watch it.
The Rocketeer,
So they Ant-Man.
We should watch The Bicentennial Man as well.
the Aviator.
We just do a season where it's just all films called The Something Man.
Oh, that's a great idea. I like that, actually.
Does it include words where like man is part of a compound word like the snowman?
Yes, 100%.
Superman? Men. Just the film Men.
Man.
Uh-huh.
Man 2, Men. She calls the cops.
She does.
Really good, because like obviously he's just trying to pick someone who will like call the cops when she wakes up and sees him. So they call the cops and the cops get there. And what I really appreciate is that they do not at any point go like, come out, you're surrounded, we've got you, Chandler.
No.
They sneak fully into the house, into the bedroom. You get a shot of like 4 or 5 cops like tiptoeing into the room with our Bond, and then they just dogpile him.
He's naked
Just all
too.
jump on him.
Yeah, it's great.
Really good.
There follows a fight scene because we have to establish that he can fight.
Yeah, it's fine.
He loses because the like boss cop, the detective or whatever, like gets him at gunpoint,
Yeah,
and he gets arrested.
fair enough.
Which I like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And we see this is reported on TV and it's being watched by a mysterious figure.
All the TV news is like, Chandler has been arrested. That was the news. Goodbye.
I really appreciate that because they go like, that was the end of the news. And then the news turns off. And you're like, oh, wow, I forget that it didn't used to be a 24-hour thing.
Yeah.
They would just be like, right, I've told you all you need to know. Goodbye.
Yeah. Nothing else happened. Get on with your day.
Couldn't think of a second story. This is the thing that happened in Rome.
That's it.
Chandler Bing was arrested.
Hmm.
For his many crimes, Chandler Bing has been arrested.
Bing executed.
Get the death penalty for sure. Oh, well.
An unseen Blofeld-like figure is talking to, and I gotta say this now, one of the goons of all time.
Yes.
Fan-fucking-tastic to
This
see this guy. Both in this movie and in general, one of the goons of all time. This is George Eastman, a taken name, born Luigi Montefiore.
Fantastic.
Mr. Surname.
2-meter tall guy.
Whoa,
You know
really?
he was used for gooning. He's a big man.
He's Mia Mulder-sized.
Yeah, exactly.
He's Mr. Cass, who's our surnamed villain for this one. He's like the synthesis of Mr. Surname and Mongo, because he's a big guy and he's a Mr. Surname.
It's true.
I'm so excited to get a Mr. Surname. When they introduced him as Mr. Karras, I was like, let's fucking go. We're back. This is Kill James Bond par excellence.
Yeah. And so Blofeld is like, all right, this guy, he seems like he'd be a good like culture fit for the organization. Why don't you bust him out of prison and bring him here and we'll interview him?
We have a little scene from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. because welcome back to the podcast Gas.
Yep, it's the gas hour.
This is fan-fucking-tastic.
I love a gas.
I love this shit too, yeah.
I didn't see the gas coming. Okay, so what's happening is he's being transferred from prison to prison right now.
And they have, of course, a comical number of guards on him.
Yes, a massive amount.
6 motorcycle cops outside the van and stuff.
There's a helicopter above them. Like a journalist goes like, oh, it's cool. They've got like a helicopter escort and everything, like the president. And then the helicopter lowers down a UFO-looking device.
I described this as a kind of heliborne vape thurible.
I wrote, please God, let that be a big magnet. And I was disappointed, but
I know.
It's just like big Catholic.
it's way better. In fact, I was so much more excited when it started spewing thick gas.
Yes.
We're back, baby. It's gas.
You cut to the helicopter and Karras and 2 of his boys are all wearing leather jackets, gas masks, incredible all-time goon fit. Again, we get some great stunt driving because all of these guys on motorcycles have to like crash the fucking motorcycle to indicate that they have like been knocked unconscious by the gas. And every single one of these guys nails it. You get like 4 consecutive shots of guys falling off a speeding motorcycle really well.
Yeah.
And compared to the stunt work in like some of the other Eurospy movies we've seen, this is like...
One of them hits a tree.
Yeah. It's nice.
It's good.
Everybody gets knocked unconscious. The leather jacket boys land, bust open the prison van, take an unconscious OSS on set, put him in the helicopter, put him in a plane, put him in a different helicopter in order to take him to the fucking secondary location, right?
The mansion.
Yes. Spectre Island. If you remember Spectre Island from Russia with Love, this is that, right?
Yeah.
They kick him out of the helicopter and inevitably, let's say,
Geisha.
nebulously Asian geisha inflected woman with music as expected. There's some like gongs in the mix as well. It's like, follow me. She's not important. She's not named. She's not going to come back. She's like the secretary or whatever. Functionally, the shit sucks.
Now, she leads him past a statue of 2 naked dudes wrestling.
Yes.
Which, like...
Hell yeah.
I have a question which will come up later, but just wanted to plant that for now. My notes say this is how Devin and I joined the podcast.
I bought that statue as a perfectly legitimate business expense. The fact that I interviewed you for this in front of like a 12-foot tall copy of Dante and Virgil in Hell doesn't reflect anything about me. The fact that I was creepily moving my hands the whole time and I kept making like gay innuendos. I will have you know that I'm a respectable, monogamous, heterosexual.
It's just one of those things. Like, it just got away from us. We came in and you were facing away from us on the swivel chair, and when you turn around, really, that sets the tone for the whole thing. So
it's true.
Because it's just one of those.
As you might be able to tell from some of the subtle allusions that we're making, and the kind of presence of a lot of like old world art and like delicacy and everything being stuccoed and everything. The deal here is that the organization is not merely Spectre. The organization is Gay Spectre.
It's Gay Spectre.
When I noted this down, I noted down Gay Spectre in all caps and I underlined it twice. This is a fantastic direction to take it in because...
Happy Pride Month, bitch. It's Gay Spectre.
Exactly. It's Gay Spectre.
It's Gay Spectre.
Spectre is valid and welcome at Pride, is the thing.
Having your parade float sponsored by Spectre? That's really funny.
Yeah, I don't know why it's emitting all this gas, but like... it's fine, I guess.
Don't even worry about it. It's good. There's so many types of gas. Gas in and of itself isn't a problem. Oxygen's a gas.
That's my smoke machine. I put it on the back of the Gay Spectre float.
They took your smoke machine and attached it to a fucking helicopter.
It's got all the pheromones.
Every one of those motorcycle cops bricked up.
Everyone in the car's horny as hell. Like, I have to pull over. This is fucking awful.
They lead him into the building.
Yeah, it's not just Gay Spectre, baby. It's 3-peat KJB champion.
Yes.
It's Kurt Jurgens.
It's Kurt
Welcome
Jurgens.
back.
And in fact, there's also someone else. There's another familiar face here. Did you realize who the doctor is?
I did.
The sexy doctor who examines him and has a bit of like a mid-tier smom flirtation is Luciana Paluzzi, who's Fiona Volpe from Thunderball.
Yes.
Welcome back.
These guys we love to see.
She's so fucking hot, is the thing.
Hello, Luciana Paluzzi.
As they're leading him into the building, right, he's not asking any questions, right?
No.
He sees a guy who like looks like a crimes doer and he doesn't say anything. And finally, this one who's leading him in is like, are you not going to like ask who that was even? And he's like, oh yeah, I know that guy. He's like an assassin or whatever.
Yeah.
Not asking questions, but showing he knows what he's about is like the opposite of the way James Bond has ever infiltrated anything. Because like, if you watch the like more Bonds or whatever, anytime he's going undercover, he's like, what's that? Who's that person?
What's going on?
What's that guy? What are you doing all of this? What's all
My
this
first
for?
day on the job.
Yeah, exactly. It's well done, I think.
It's nice to show that the research was done before he got there, you know?
Yeah. And so he meets the doctor first, I think.
I believe he does, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're so right.
And they flirt a little bit. And something I like about this is, unlike a lot of other Eurospy movies, it seems like they're both having fun. Like, he's hitting her with some fucking atrocious lines. Like, some dog shit riz. He's just like, I've never lost control before with a doctor. And she's fucking smiling at him like she knows this is stupid, but she also wants to fuck him.
Yeah.
this is the thing, right, about this movie. Not for the first time, one of these Eurospy movies has the vibes of softcore porn.
Yes.
Particularly with that single, like, one kind of like doodly doodly doo soundtrack repeating over everything. But I think this has, and it's strange to say, good softcore porn vibes in a way, but like it seems congenial.
Reminds me of all my favorite parts of softcore porn.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah. Like
the 16mm camera that's clearly been used to capture it. Everyone's sitting around with their shirts way open.
Everyone knows that it's kind of dumb, but they're going along with it because it's fun. It's like,
I don't think I've ever seen softcore porn.
This guy's got a fucking carpet as well, which is fantastic. Like, again, just things that won't happen in like chest hair wise, right?
Yeah.
Like just things that don't happen in modern movies like this.
So she's clearly like eyeing him and she's kind of like into it. And she's like, listen, we got to take you in to see Gay Blofeld.
Yes.
And Gay Blofeld is, as you mentioned, Kurt Jurgens. Wet Blofeld.
Wet Blofeld is now Wet Gay Blofeld.
He was in Bond. He's in Uncle. He's in OSS 117. Three-peat. There he is, baby.
Observe, Mr. Bond.
He's so fucking good in this.
His shirt is fabulous.
It's
he looks like he's
fantastic.
going to the club. It's like black and gold. It's great.
He's wearing, I shit you not, a bronze lame Nehru jacket. It's
He is, yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It is the only thing he wears in the whole movie.
Yeah.
But like, the thing is, it would be if you had that kind of clothing like that. But I think I'll put on the Nehru jacket today.
And
I
he's
think.
playing it gay, of course. He's like doing the like too much hand movements thing. A little sinister kind of little smiles. He introduces Karis as my trusted assistant.
Please excuse my inexcusable rudeness. Really nice. Just classic.
Exactly. If it's inexcusable, how would I excuse it?
Exactly.
But so he's like, listen,
Cunt.
you work for us now. I'm not even going to bother to threaten you. You know what the deal is. You're going to like do some work for us, Gay Spectre. You'll find it pretty convivial. We do like tennis and shit. You like tennis? Of course you like tennis. He's like
You love
gay Hank
tennis.
Scorpio.
They have a pool.
He does, yeah, like, it's fine here. Like, you can't leave unless we tell you to, obviously. But, like, it's sick here. Why would you want to, you know?
And at this point, OSS 117 cashes in the one first day question, which is, where is your self-destruct button?
Yeah, you gotta know.
And he tells him. He's like, oh, it's right here.
It's right
this
here,
is the
yeah.
self-destruct lever, and if I pull this, everything will blow up.
The fact that it's a lever, I note that he's like casually showing off not a button, not even a switch, his kind of self-destruct crank.
Yeah.
That if you like crank this in a circle like a generator, will blow up the building.
You turn the one key, it pops up with a little, like, clamshell casing, and then there's just a fucking crank. It's like, all right.
Gotta wind it up.
And he goes, and I will do this, I swear to God, at the drop of a hat. Okay?
Yeah.
I want you to understand this.
Yeah. This is Chekhov's crank, right? It's fully just like, I will do this and blow us all up. I don't even give a fuck.
You need to understand.
Yeah.
I will crank it by the end of this movie. There's no two ways about this.
I'm cranking it.
I'm Gay Blofeld, and I'm going to crank it.
Gonna crank it till it explodes.
So the doctor shows him to another Bond classic, your kind of like luxurious but very locked quarters, right?
Yes.
And they lock from the outside, like featureless doors, all of this. It's all good, right? And then they do some more seduction, right? Because she hits him with another classic. We just saw this in fucking, oh god, the thing that we just saw.
Deadlier sex, women are the
Deadlier
killer.
than the male?
Deadlier than the male. We just saw that. She hits him with the, I'm here against my will. I've been like fucking kidnapped or whatever, and I want to get out. Can you help me? And we see that again, Gay Blofeld and Karis are like listening in on this because it's a loyalty test.
Love that they do this personally.
Yeah, it's great. It's fucking great.
Let's see if this guy's loyal. I mean, we just had a chat with him. He seems nice. Like, they're getting along great as well. They're like, this guy's funny.
Tennis and shit. Like,
see if he's loyal. Just give it a little go.
Also, see if he's straight.
Yeah. Yeah, if he's straight, he's got to get out of here.
I really appreciate that the doctor is like, obviously, we're going to do this loyalty test, but I do want to make out with him first. That's like a key part of this.
I guess that's how they ensure that it's a gay-only organization, is they just have one 10 out of 10 smoke show on staff to try to seduce you. And if you're just like not taking it at all, beautiful.
Well, so he deduces that her ring that she's wearing is a microphone, and he puts it in the water glass at the side of his bed, and he's like, no, test passed.
This makes Gay Blofeld like more aroused than he's ever been in his fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely, yeah.
Now Gay Blofeld wants to fuck him as well. He's running through this fucking house like Teorema. It's like out of control.
He passes the test, and then the doctor like is just like, "Oh, good. Like, I'll shag you anyway, but like for real now. I don't really want to escape. I just want to shag."
It's her idea as well. It's like, it's really nice, you know? Like,
Yeah. But then what happens after that?
good fucking question. My next note says gay criminal Schubert concerto.
Did you not notice who's playing cello?
This is one of those questions that I can only get here.
Sidling up to you in a park.
Did you seriously not he's the first shot in the scene. Did you two seriously not notice who is playing the cello in this Schubert?
I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me.
I completely missed who was playing cello in this. I'm just going to go ahead and open the movie right
Guys,
now live on the podcast.
It's Hitler.
What?
It's Hitler?
I'm sorry.
Hitler is playing the cello.
just scrubbing through this movie real fast, actually.
He's the first shot in this. It's Hitler. Hitler is playing the cello in this scene.
I believe you.
Weird to film that cameo from Argentina, you know? Like,
There's like no mistaking, like comb over mustache. He's a little bit older. Like that's the joke.
guys
like,
just used to look like
Hitler
this.
is alive and playing the cello for Gay Spectre.
Genuinely did not clock that. Fuck, he really does
Hitler's
look like...
playing the cello. That's Hitler.
That's fucking... wow, okay.
When I saw Hitler on the screen, I stood up.
Yeah, because you were moved by the beauty of the Schubert concerto. Like,
But my notes here say Hitler improves any film because now anything can happen.
like Lupin the Third.
Yeah, but like, well, we've got Hitler in this.
Yeah, like fuck knows what. We could go to the moon now. Like anything could happen. We're totally out of reality now.
It's a terrible review of Downfall.
The Abigail Thorne first act Hitler principle. Anything can happen in this movie at this point.
It's actually Chekhov's Hitler.
I can't believe you missed cello Hitler.
I missed cello Hitler.
I was trying to get Climate Stalin, and instead I got cello Hitler.
I would hate. Wow, yeah. Huh.
That is fucking
It's
Hitler.
definitely him.
Well, okay.
Yeah, no, that's fully supposed to be a Hitler joke. There's no two ways. Nobody has that mustache in 1968. They knew about it.
To be clear, what's happening here is that Gay Blofeld is organizing a kind of works criminal chamber
Concert.
music like quintet.
Yeah, like we're on the Enterprise. They're all just like, it's our pastime.
Yeah, this is actually really sweet. Like, aside from the fact that it's Hitler,
I'm looking at everyone in the band right now to see if any of them were also like famous.
I think it's just normal
history, but
guys.
I don't believe so. Most of them are just normal guys. They all do have the goon affect, though.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
got like eye patches and big scars and things like that.
Mm.
It's nice.
Classic goon stuff.
It's a work band.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Hitler and the Goons.
Hitler and
We
the
see that like Gay
Goons.
Blofeld is like earnestly enraptured by this Schubert concerto. He's like he's like, you know, he's literally reading along the sheet music.
Hmm.
And everybody else is just kind of like, yeah, okay, fucking boss is on some gay shit again. Including OSS 117 and the Doctor, who are eye fucking each other. She is wearing a leather double-breasted jacket and leather trousers that just, God, fuck.
Mm. I have a dress that's quite similar to that.
Really?
It's nice. Yeah. I wore it at a live show one time.
You go to a Schubert concerto?
I remember.
Not if Hitler's playing.
There are some seminal big guys in this scene.
Oh,
like
that's
in
true.
the audience, it's a classic like big guys convention. Huge goons.
Yeah, there's a silent joke of the like two of the like big thug looking guys hitting on the like geisha styled woman with no dialogue and getting like shot down. I thought that was quite well done. I like the like confidence to do that with no dialogue.
Yeah,
so
it's
OSS 117 takes the Doctor aside and he's like, hey, are we still like fucking tonight? Because I assume that like having fucked once, after one hookup, we're basically like married, right? So it's good.
He's like,
right?
we're dating now, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
your
yeah.
boyfriend? And she's like, no.
Always heartbreaking when you get
no.
like too invested in the hookup, you know? But
That's how it goes.
yeah. She's like, no, we can't because tonight Gay Blofeld is he's like meeting with a client, so we're all going to get locked in our rooms individually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a pretty compelling bit, right? And we do some honest to God spying because he goes back to his room.
It's genuine spy work here.
All the like windows get like sealed off with like big metal shutters.
Yeah, it's cool.
He's wearing a cunty turtleneck, which I always appreciate. And he like breaks his way through a frescoed over air vent, which again, the aesthetics of this movie I just fucking say it's also helped by the fact that this is a beautiful print.
It's so good.
Because it's film, you can get like functioning like infinite definition out of it, and it's been like really well restored. It's like a Gaumont print or whatever. And so it's just, I don't know, the 60s aesthetics really pops out at me. But so yeah, he does some actual spying by like climbing up onto the roof and like abseiling down and listening in at Gay Blofeld's office window. As
he's climbing the lift shaft, we get some upbeat, jaunty music, which is quite good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's all right. It's losing its charm somewhat.
So he meets this guy who in my notes I called Mr. Big. I don't know if he is named. But he's like, yo, let's discuss our evil plans near this window.
Yeah.
Yes.
This fish window.
There's going to be peace in the Middle East. There's apparently these two tribes in country who are warring, and they're going to have peace
in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a point at which I have to attempt to pronounce a name. I apologize to the country of Sweden and Mia Mulder.
Oh, thank God it's only Swedish.
I suspect that this is a thinly veiled reference to the I think certainly now, assassinated Secretary General of the UN, Dag Hammarskjöld. Dag Hammarskjöld. There we go.
Right.
Nailed it the second time. Who was like killed in the course of trying to like brook peace in, I want to say, the Congo.
Yeah.
Dag is a cool name.
Dag, yeah. DAG, Dag.
So anyway, there's going to be peace in the Middle East is breaking out, or not in the Middle East. Peace in North Africa is breaking out.
Yeah.
This one guy is going to reconcile these two warring tribes, and we can't have that. It's going to be bad for business because I work for Barclays and we have a lot of money invested in the conflict.
I think it's also cool that the Barclays guy is like, this guy who I want assassinated is my friend. I like know him personally. To me, that sells the basis of like Gay Spectre or like the organization or whatever better. If it's like, all the guys in the 1% fully know the people that they're having assassinated and stuff, and it doesn't like trouble them or whatever.
Yeah,
I really quite like that.
So we want you to kill him, and also we want you to make it look like one of the other tribes did it, because that'll start the war going again. And Gabe Blofeld makes an interesting choice to assign the guy who was recruited yesterday.
He's like, fuck it.
Which I was like, that's a questionable decision.
Really believes in like on-the-job training, like throwing you into the deep end.
He's impressed by him with the spot in the ring like thing. He's like, okay, this guy's passed my test. Let's see what he can do. Let's get him out there. Give this man a vaccination.
You're not getting the like Schubert concertos for free. You know, you can't just like sit around.
Yeah. Do you ever know how much it costs to book Hitler?
Not much.
We flew in Hitler from Colonia Dignidad for this.
Yeah, he's not doing much these days.
Yeah, no. He's basically only doing this, actually.
He learned the cello, though.
Yeah, he had a lot to do. A lot of time in exile.
The doctor gives him a vaccination, and he's like, what's in this vaccination? And can we fuck again? And she's like, shut up, and also no.
Yeah, he goes, what kind of vaccination? And she's like, pauses for a second and goes, general.
Yeah, all of them.
You're just going to be kind of vaccinated. You're going to be in a state of vaccinated for a little while here.
You're going to get like 5G reception. Not very useful in 1968.
This is going to be one of those episodes that Spotify will have a little thing under because
oh God.
Yeah. But so she shoots him up with the 5G vaccine. And Gabe Blofeld is like, right, here's your passport. Your name is John Mulligan. You're a press photographer. And you're going to next location. I'm not even going to tell you where next location fucking is, which I really
like this. Yeah, they keep him on a leash because they're like, just go to this place. We're not going to tell you where it is. And then you will meet a doctor when you get there.
Yeah, this is your first go, man. You know, like, we're testing you.
I wrote down the phrase chemical leash here, which is, I think it's a really compelling bit. There's some noir movies that do a similar thing, like Dead on Arrival.
We get the confirmation that he's probably gay because he says, you'll meet a doctor, and 117 says, is she as luscious as your house physician? He goes, that's a matter of taste. It's a man. Yeah, and all OSS 117 does is like roll his eyes at him.
Because
I really appreciate this, you know, like inclusive workplace, extremely inclusive for the time. That OSS is just like, I'm my boss is on his fucking gay shit again.
Classic.
I say maybe too inclusive if you like, we've got gay people in the organization and also Hitler.
It's a big 10. All right, I will say that for free.
Well, I mean, you'd think it would be a problem for Hitler.
I know, that's what occurred to me. I was like, well, that can't be Hitler if he's gay. Like,
I mean, after Ernst Röhm, I think he kind of like soured on gay. Anyway, so Karras is like, since you're going to be a press photographer, here are your 2 cameras, both from Rolleiflex. Shout out to Rolleiflex. The TLR that he gives him, the twin lens reflex, is a weird choice, but like the medium format camera he gives him is fucking sick.
Yeah.
Really nice.
And I'm Abby.
It's not a Holoflex, it's a fucking Senza Bronica ETR.
Of course it is. They didn't have the budget for that.
They cover up the fucking logo when it's in shot, but I know what that cunt is.
Bronica, respectable choice. Very respectable.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I got one of those. It's nice. What the fuck happens?
Well, he gets to next location. It's Tunisia, by the way. We never learn this. This is never stated.
Oh, okay.
But it is.
And the soundtrack starts getting all weird, but like in the way that you've been poisoned. The kind of like, drugs noise from The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah. He gets a status effect.
His vaccine starts to kick in.
Yeah, I wrote down she vaccinated him against the soundtrack.
Yeah, vaxxed.
Yeah, genuinely.
He experiences some side effects, some adverse events happen to my boy.
His like legs are shaking. Like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah. Hashtag fucking died suddenly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's magnetic.
Yeah. He collapses onto the bed. Bits of like metal are sticking to him and shit. I write down, because then at this point, a mysterious man comes in and fucking injects him with an unknown chemical, something which I would hate to happen to me.
He also doesn't swab him. I'm like, well, that's not very nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be sore.
I write down, this motherfucker gets drugged more than the prisoner.
Yeah.
I think it quite successfully makes the organization a bit scary, right?
Yeah, it does. I like this.
The organization, they're just injecting you with shit all the time. You were like, please stop.
Kind of reminds me a bit of the Bourne movie with Jeremy Renner. You remember Oscar Isaac in that?
Legacy.
Like, yeah. Where he's like, maybe you're like here to evaluate me. The kind of like mutual paranoia. Saw some of that in the Quilla Memorandum. It's going to be in like some other like spy stuff that we talk about. I think that hits this really well. It's cool. Yeah.
So when he wakes up, this guy says, hey, yo, my name is Dr. Sadi.
Yeah, do we recognize this guy?
Yeah, do we recognize this motherfucker right
here?
Who is
this? Is it Hitler again?
Yeah, that's Hitler. No.
This right here, baby, is Dr. Sin.
It's Dr.
from
Sin!
OSS in Bangkok. This is Robert Hossein.
What? But you've already been in this series as a sinister doctor whose name begins with, you can't go back.
This was from the second Kerwin Matthews OSS. The one that we believe is good.
Yep.
Shit, yeah. Oh, was that the one with the amazing suicidal henchman?
Yeah.
That is correct, yes.
Right.
Once you have an evil medical license, you're not like cashing that in anywhere. You're just like you're staying typecast.
They're like, bro, you have an incredible screen presence. Come back. Let's just be in my movies, you know?
Great voice as well. Fantastic
just
voice.
Be the same guy again.
He's so good in this, in that he's playing the same guy, and he was good at it the first time.
He wakes him up and he explains, right? We fucking got your ass. What you have been injected with was not a vaccine, but in fact just a regular old poison. I have given you an antidote to it because this is smart. Like if you had just like run off somewhere else, you would have just fucking died. But you came here like you were told to. I have given you an antidote. I will give you the next dose of the antidote at like 24 hours time at my clinic. I give you the next one 24 hours after that when the job is done. And then you're fine. Like this is the like induction procedure or whatever.
It's pretty good. I will say that he has to go there for 5 p.m. to get the injection each day. And that's so fucked up. If I've got an appointment at 5 p.m., I'm not relaxed at any point during the rest of the day.
GPs and office hours, you know how it is. I mean, this man has like almost as bad an experience with a GP's receptionist as I've had later in this movie.
She's poison, yeah. And he still doesn't tell him what he's up to. He's like, go to this villa tonight, attend a reception and meet me there.
Fucking go here. So, of course, OSS Ondyset, being the guy that he is, detects the nearest beautiful woman.
Because Mr. Big is staying in the hotel with his 10 out of 10 smoke show daughter. Yeah. And they're going to the reception.
Absolutely. This is Ayesha.
Now you're a spy, baby. Yeah. Smoke show daughter. Let's go.
He sees her sunbathing by the pool, wastes 3 exposures of 120 on nothing, trying to like photograph her.
Sorry, it's only 6 by 4.5. It's fine.
Is it? Okay. Well, still, even 1968, that shit's still expensive, you know? And she's like, what are you doing? Fuck off. And he essentially hits her with the Hugh Grant in The Gentleman kind of sleaze photographer shit.
Yeah.
He says, I'm a professional pest. I kind of like this.
He's pretty good. Like, he is pretty charming in this scene. You know, they've got a really nice back and forth.
He says, I'm doing a series on lonely beauties.
It's not a good idea for a series. Magnum wouldn't commission that. Come on, get the fuck out of here.
I'm like, well, that would work on me, that line, I have to say.
So she tells him to fuck off, and he's like, all right, fine. I guess I'll take my Bronica elsewhere.
Yeah.
At this point, a guy who I will be calling Mr. Mustache Man enters the fucking show. And this guy, one of the mustaches of all time, I have to say.
Huge horseshoe-shaped fucking thing.
Beautiful.
Pulls the entire rest of the face down. He looks miserable. Wonderful. Great to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we go to the reception, black tie reception.
Yes.
And the doctor is there and he says, that guy over there, that's your target. Memorize his face.
Mm-hmm.
Don't kill him now, but just that's who he is. In the meantime, enjoy the party.
To be clear,
Yeah.
the mustache guy is in the end of this shot, the end of this scene. He like looms into shot and then we immediately cut to the party where he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it like holds on him to fade out. And
It doesn't even fade out to smash cut.
oh, yeah.
This is like, check out this guy. Now we're here.
Just remember this face generally for later on, okay, right?
He's lurking.
Mm-hmm.
I think a better movie would probably rely on one of your stock things of like him being in the phone booth, being like he just walked in or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I will say I'm going to rewatch the actual, like, the OSS 117 that we watched years ago after this and be like, oh, I get all the jokes now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why Hitler's there.
I mean, yeah.
So he's at this reception, right? And Sadi is trying to get him to focus on his work, right? This doctor. He's just like, this is the guy. Kill that guy. However, OSS 117 is like, pussy? Is that pussy?
Is that pussy over there?
Is that pussy I'm smelling?
Hold up.
Immediately hustling towards Aisha, who has just walked in. And Sadi has to fucking like physically separate them on the pretext of a phone call, get him alone and be like, do not fuck this woman. I will kill you.
Genuinely calls him on the phone. And he's like, what? And they're like, do not fuck her.
Yeah.
You're here to kill someone.
Your life is on the line, man. Like, and all you can think about is pussy? You're all about it.
And he's just felt like, bro, I said I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him, all right? I'm not doing it tonight, so let me get some pussy.
So I've got a free evening.
Yeah.
So he goes back to hit on her, and so she's like, I hate these receptions. I'm so bored. And he hits her with another kind of like 60s Riz line where he says, where would you like to end the night?
Ooh.
That is pretty good. Yeah.
If someone hit on me with that, could I not say their bedroom?
Yeah, lines that would work on me. Yeah, that's the secret, isn't it? It's not that you give the line, you set the other person up to give the line.
Yeah, exactly. She's clearly into it, and Sadi calls him back in again to be like, stop fucking.
Mm-hmm.
You're really helicoptering me on this assassination, bro.
Why don't you kill him then?
Yeah.
Why don't you inject him with poison?
This guy, he mostly wants to fuck beautiful women, and it's like he keeps getting interrupted by his work as a spy. It's like me in podcasting.
He's just like me for real.
It's just like me in podcast.
You two, like, stop fucking.
I'm the opposite. I'm trying a podcast and it's a beautiful woman.
So finally, he is like, like Aisha leaves. She's like, fuck it. You've just cock blocked me. Or whatever the like cis female equivalent of that is. You've clip blocked me.
Clam jammed.
Yeah. Clam jammed. Nice.
Okay. I'm going home.
This party sucks. You didn't even get a Hitler.
This is bullshit.
You couldn't even book Hitler.
I see who's on cello. That's not Hitler.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. Fuck this.
But like, she is followed by one of the all-time goon cars. I love a car with a couple of goons in it. It's not a Citroen DS with yellow headlights, but it's close.
At this point, they're playing some jaunty music. It's an odd choice.
Yeah. Still the same.
Same jaunty music.
So the chase that then happens is Aisha's car, goon car, OSS 117 car, and then Mr. Mustache Man car.
Like a club sandwich of goons.
Yeah. And we see that like Mustache guy, who is like also talking to one of his boys, has a stammer, right? This is we're gonna have to take some points off of this, right? Because it's clearly intended for comedy. Never explicitly plays it that way, but like
So OSS 117 evades his goons by pulling a cart across the road, causing them to crash. But then we get this like quite tense scene where the goons following Aisha pull her over and like get her at gunpoint. They've already dug a grave and they're like, tell us what we need to know or we're going to put you in this grave now.
These motherfuckers watched Casino. You dig the grave first or you're there all fucking night.
It is true.
And She is wearing, by the way, a dress primarily comprised of white marabou feathers. She looks like an albino big bird. And this guy gets her at gunpoint and he's like, where was your dad the night before last? And he's like, I don't know. Do you know Gay Blofeld? No, I don't know. And at this point, OSS 117 shows up to rescue her by shooting these two guys dead.
Yes.
I like this reveal that she faints into his arms and he puts her in the car and then goes back to them. And they're fucking faking. They're his boys. They recorded the whole thing.
He's done it again.
Has this guy fucking shot anyone for real ever?
No.
I do want to know how and when he set this up without the organization realizing.
This is just like deep cover shit.
But
so one of them is like, I've recorded everything she said. It's probably all lies because she's a woman. And and OSS 117 is like, you guys, you got a misogynist culture. Claps on the back, leaves.
Yeah, the lines
that
are,
is true.
It says, the truth never comes out of the mouth of a woman. And OSS says, you're a race of pessimists. I was like, we just helped you.
Tunisians?
The like, dickhead kind of affect as well.
This is Bants,
Odd.
Don't say that kind of shit to me. Don't do this kind of shit to a woman either. This isn't a good idea.
He drives her home and is like, oh, I'm so sorry that they did that to you. For the record, though, do you know who Gay Blofeld is? I'm asking as a friend and not a guy who's like in cahoots with those guys. And she's like, no, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, she tells him what they asked her, and he's like, well, now you got me curious. What was your father up to a couple of days ago? And she's like, I told them, I don't know.
Yeah, and then we get like an honest-to-God horizontal Star Wars screen wipe, which I really appreciate.
Yes.
Like, you don't see that done very much anymore.
Love Star Wars.
Never heard of it.
You do see it done in Disney's The Acolyte, listeners.
You gotta keep doing the stupid wipes, otherwise it's not
true.
Star Wars anymore, quite honestly.
They're good. I like the wipes.
It's good. It's so good.
I really like a wipe.
I love a wipe. Bring it back. Star wipes only. Killers of the Flower Moon, but every transition's a Star wipe instead. Just the same movie.
That's really funny.
When he's going to see Robert De Niro in the jail and you star wipe into that, that's a rough fucking wipe. It's like a one-ply wipe. So...
It's the roughest wipe I've had since I went to Belize. Walk through the jungle.
One-ply Star wipe is so fucked up, dude. It's one of the worst things you've ever said to me.
Yeah, dog.
It's nice to see the like sort of Sims social interaction, like double negative thing appear in real life.
Devin will remember that.
So he goes to see Dr. Sadi, right?
Yes.
And Dr. Sadi is like, all right, fine. You've gone to the thing. You haven't fucked that woman, I assume. I will give you the first like shot of antidote. And he does some more spying in the course of like, he's just sitting down, but he is able to get up and move across a room very quickly and quietly to like see Sadi like, get the key from behind a book to like open his medicine cabinet and like get the thing and like drop the thing into a hypodermic.
So he knows where the medicine is.
Yeah. Smart.
And he's like, well, you're not going to get the final one until you kill your target. He's going to be at the tribal feast tonight where they're, finalizing the peace accord.
Yes.
Classic sort of dialogue. He walks in, the guy goes, you're punctual. And he goes, I wouldn't be late if my life depended on it. All the time. Classic. Yeah. The dialogue we don't highlight all that much, but it's pretty much all like this.
Yeah.
Which I like.
It's pretty mid.
He gets a second vaccination and he goes back to his hotel. The music at this point gives up entirely, just cuts out, which is, to be honest, it's kind of better and more tense without it because waiting in the room for him, fucking Mr. Mustache Man, who is not best pleased about the fact that he has been like, he's had his pursuit interrupted.
Oh, it's really good. Mustache Man isn't waiting like visibly in the room. He's out of sight and like OSS goes over, like picks up the phone and just like starts talking into it. Just like, all right, get me the American embassy. I've got something to report. And Mr. Mustache Man walks in and is like, got you, motherfucker. And then he looks and sees like the phone isn't even plugged in. And he's like, are you clowning on my ass? And OSS goes, I am clowning on your ass, I'm afraid.
And to be fair, like, so the mustache guy does all of this with a pretty heavy stammer. And while OSS 117 does clown on him, he does not clown on the stammer.
He doesn't make fun of a stammer at any
During
point.
the fight, I was like, how is he going to exploit a stammer to kill this guy?
He doesn't exploit that stammer. No, he just hits him really hard with a phone.
During the fight scene, they play this kind of upbeat, jaunty music. It's the same.
Yeah, it's like
Why
It's the
was
same one.
it's the same music again?
I will say this for Mr. Mustache Man, he's got some fucking moves. Like, he gets knocked unconscious at the end of this fight.
Pretty good.
He like fucking spin kicks like the guy. He's got like a knife. It's pretty well done. Yeah, he gets knocked unconscious. We go to the camp, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing all the like, you know, as you'd expect, like sword dance stuff. This is genuinely, if unintentionally, enhanced by the fact that this camp has a shitload of like first generation Land Cruisers scattered around it. Like, it kind of suggests that these guys have just been Toyota warring each other.
Yes.
And they're just like also incidentally like keeping up the cultural traditions. However, the cultural sensitivity is going to take a fucking nosedive because
my notes here say at least OSS 117 isn't in brownface, and then I've crossed that out because he is. It was so badly lit I couldn't tell.
Oh, right.
But no, he is. He is in brownface. He enters in disguise. The peace broker, his name is Van Dyke, who like retires to his tent. And they gas him and kidnap him. They plant a little time bomb that like blows up the tent and makes everyone think that he's been.
They swap his body with Mr. Mustache Man's.
Yeah.
They leave him in the tent to get blown up, which probably fucking sucks. Like,
he was already dead. He died when the window fell on his neck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't suck.
It's not that clear, but like, one thing I will say is he's got a little gadget. He's got the gas that knocks you out instantly in spray can form.
Yeah.
He hits a guy with the fucking Lynx Africa. He just fully just like, a guy's going like, hey, where are you going? He just, you know, sprays him in the face.
And this guy gets knocked out. Classic.
Like, oh, that smells fucking terrible. He falls unconscious.
The next day, Dr. Sadi calls this in.
Yeah, he calls this in on the radio, and his call sign is Donald Duck.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gay Blofeld's call sign is Snow White, this diva.
Yeah. And Mr. 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 Surname's name is Goofy.
Yeah, he picks up the receiver. He's like, you know, like go for Goofy Actual or whatever.
Now, what I will say does bring you out of this metaphor somewhat is that the code name for Van Dyke is the watchdog of the Arabs, which doesn't quite jive with the goofy Mickey Mouse shit that they had going.
Remember that character in maybe it's One from the Vaults?
It's like Sadi says that, and you're like, brother, you got to use the code names. We're doing a Disney thing right now.
You can't get that on Disney Plus anymore.
I went to Disneyland a while ago, and it's like, well, yeah, it's like Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Jack Sparrow, Snow White, the watchdog of the Arabs. Maybe it was a Fantasia thing.
It's in the small world, right?
Yeah.
They had to update that one really, like remarkably recently. If you look into it, they had to.
But yeah, so they think that the assassination has come off, right, successfully. Yeah. And so at this point, Gay Blofeld is like, all right, it's time to pull the double cross. Because, you know, I might have been fond of this guy, but we don't need him. We don't even need to pay him. We can just kill him.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse will never eat his cheese. That's what he says.
Yeah, they get off the call and then like Mr. Surname and the Colonel, I believe it's called, they're still doing the fucking bit to each other. Yeah. Which again, just a great goon, like great interaction. Wonderful stuff.
One of the all-time goons. Sadi has like a whole other goon, like his own goon, his personal goon, his like GP receptionist to like do his typing and stuff, Yusuf.
Yes.
And he's like, right, Yusuf, I'll leave you in the office because I've just had a phone call from Aisha. Like, that doesn't sound at all like a pretext to get me out of the office. Being like, I'm sick or whatever.
Yeah.
Come over. It's not a trap.
Oh, by the way, meanwhile, Van Dyke is like being kept in seclusion in like a sort of secret room or whatever. And he has like an honest to God existential crisis when he reads the newspaper about his own assassination and then sees himself in the shaving mirror, which I really like.
Really good.
And then he just fucking drives off.
Yeah, they don't try and stop him.
Genuinely, no one's watching this guy. Like,
he hits the bricks.
OSS's whole plan is we'll just kidnap this guy and put him near enough by that he will get there just after the news breaks.
Yeah.
Like he just spawns somewhere in town and is like, what the fuck? Oh no, I gotta get to the embassy.
So if you remember OSS 117's misogynist boy, he is waiting in the back of Sadi's car. And let me tell you, one of the uncle chops of all time of this misogynist. It's like a whip crack. It's like right between the shoulder blades. Yeah.
Just fantastic.
Beautiful. So Van Dyke escapes sort of like semi-drunk driving to the like embassy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
One of the cops, like I think, like climbs up a stop sign to get away from his car, but the shot is fully like the cop's job is to be cunty stop sign. He's just hanging onto a stop sign.
And meanwhile, Sundiset goes to the clinic to try and get the medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ends up having a fight with the doctor's goon, and they play this upbeat jaunty. It's the same music. It's the same. It's not tense. It's just like OSS 117. I'm just like, what are you doing? Get another track. Get Hitler in here to record something tense.
Yeah.
This is awful.
Imagine getting paid to do the soundtrack for this, and you'd like turn in one track, and you're like, I'm done. I'm basically finished. I think.
How long is a movie? What, like 5 minutes? What?
Meanwhile, Mr. Surname has been deployed to the area.
Yes.
And he arrives, he's in a taxi on the way to the clinic, and the taxi driver puts on the radio, and it's this jaunty little tune on the radio.
It's the same fucking music. It's the same music.
I will admit, when it was the same music on the radio as well, I did laugh.
Yeah, that's funny.
But only because I was starting to get so mad about the fucking music.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just keep playing it.
I felt like the filmmakers were trying to antagonize me, and they succeeded.
If it's a punchline, you have to stop actually playing the music afterwards. It doesn't work.
They keep going.
Keep doing it.
This taxi driver, by the way, you can see the fucking Uber rating going down the longer Karras is at the back of this cab, because he's like, right, well, take me to the doctor's place.
Yeah.
And then immediately he's like, well, how long is it? How long do I have to listen to this like jaunty little tune? He's like, probably like 45 minutes or whatever.
He's like, it's 50 minutes. And then like earnestly 15 minutes of screen time later, you cut back to the two of them in the car, and they like turn around again.
Yeah.
You're like, I hope they never get there. I hope they're just in the car for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, because he finds out that like Van Dyke is alive, so he goes to like Mr. Big's house instead. And the taxi driver's like, oh, it's like 20 minutes back in the opposite direction. It's like fucking 1 star. Yeah, they have this fight, but ultimately, before he can get the antidote into his veins or whatever, OSS 117 gets sick. He gets like incapacitated.
Yeah. It's a good fight because he's suffering from acute like symptoms.
Yeah. He's got poison disease.
Yeah. His vitamin levels are like falling.
He's not got the vitamin anymore, and it's like
his
fucked.
RNA's been altered. He doesn't have a soul anymore. He can't get into heaven.
So this unensouled man, like beats Yusuf, like collapses a wardrobe on top of him.
Deconsecrated this guy. Yeah.
He's about to try and get into the cabinet. He collapses, and Sadi comes back in, having like obviously worked out the bluff.
This Sadi coming in is like the reason this fucking guy was cast, because holy shit, he eats this. He walks in so slowly,
ice fucking cold,
sits down at the desk, looking straight at OSS as he's like sweating to bits on the ground, lights a cigarette, and all of this is like uninterrupted, smokes it for a little bit, and then just like looks at him, and then it cuts away. It's like,
he's fully gonna watch him die.
Yeah.
He sits behind his desk and like tucks himself in just to watch him die.
Tucks himself in under a big
really
blanket.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like eating popcorn. Right?
Untuck now.
Karras gets to Mr. Big's house, and Aisha is there, and he's like, listen, you have fucked us or fucked up here somehow. And as punishment for this, I'm going to kidnap your daughter. And Aisha goes, but wait a second, I'm his daughter, don't kidnap me. And we get maybe one of my favorite deliveries of any line that we've seen. He just goes,
shut your mouth, baby.
Yeah.
Baby.
I thought he said BB originally, and I was just like, oh wow, it's a useful drop.
Shut your mouth, playboy.
At this point, like the dad, Mr. Big, pulls out a gun, and we get a kind of like couch cover based old man gunfight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mr. Big gets hit. Yeah.
He gets
Mr.
winged.
Big gets hit, and he goes, oh, if I die, then a dossier with all of the info will go to cops. And you don't want that. And the guy like looks at him and he's like, well, if that goes to the cops, I'll kill your daughter. So you should probably stop that from happening, shouldn't you? And like pushes the phone towards him with his foot and then leaves.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
par excellence.
This is some good gooning.
He's taken Aisha with him, of course. So
He's a master.
they fly back to Spectre Island.
Yeah.
By the way, OSS 117 was saved by his boy who shoots Dr. Sadi and gives him the injection.
Yeah, whatever.
There are like 10 minutes left in this movie. It's a crowded last act. And So he comes into Gay Blofeld and he's like, listen, I brought you this woman. I've done a bit of a kidnapping. I've tried to like salvage the situation. Gay Blofeld hits him with the worst feedback you could receive from your boss, which is he like goes,
Oh, my dear God, when will my prayer for one single intelligent Dutchman be answered?
the performance review's not going well. He delivers all of his lines like this.
Yeah. This is the worst feedback you could ever get from your boss. He's like, you fucked up, and now I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, this is the worst feedback ever, is that he says out loud the words, all is lost, and then immediately walks over the room to the self-destruct button.
This isn't feedback anyone got from their boss since fucking the Battle of Iwo Jima. Like,
I've never fucked up this bad at work, you know? You walk into the room and your boss goes, all is lost, and immediately goes to kill himself.
Like flipping the cover off the self-destruct crank.
Yeah, he's winding it up.
He's fully like thought about destructing myself. And Karras is like, quite reasonably under the circumstances, I don't want to get self-destructed. So I have a sort of constructive rebuttal to this performance review, which is I have a gun and I'm going to shoot you to death with it.
Yeah, like he just gets like fucking chewed out for these last few minutes, you know, like Gay Blofeld is like, here's what you should have done. You're an idiot. You fucked this up. And he goes over to like the thing and he goes, you know, Karras, what does a captain do when his ship is sinking? And Karras like looks at him for a minute and he goes like, I try to get an escape road out of there, I imagine. And this guy goes, no, you coward. He goes down with it and then immediately tries to open and set off the explosion and is just simply shot by Karras.
It takes a long time to crank the thing. Like
it takes a minute to crank the thing. Yeah.
Why did you hook it up to like a dynamo?
Why is it a crank dog? What mechanism could that possibly?
I know. By the way, so OSS 117 gets a fucking helicopter to Spectre Island. Also, Gay Spectre Island or Spectre Fire Island, thank you. The like guy he recognized on the way in when he's like, oh, that's one of the world's greatest killers. Runs into him on the stairs, effortlessly judo throws him down the stairs, never seen again. Fantastic exit. Perfect, no notes.
That's all I need.
During this fight scene, Mr. Cross, I have this music. This is George. It's the same music again.
The like fucking French army show up and surround the place.
Yeah.
We get a climactic. I've written down some things and I don't know why I talk the way that I do. I've written down the phrase, roof fight, the boat fight of land.
Yeah. Yep. Because you are so right. They're not on a boat. They're in a building.
I'm not though, because the boat fight of land is a train fight.
Roof is kind of the inverse of a boat.
Well, it's one of those things where like it's the same sort of principle where if you get thrown over the side, you're out of the fight, right? Like there's some commonality with fighting on the roof versus fighting on a boat.
And the keel of the roof points towards the clouds, which is in many ways the ocean of the sky.
That's right. Yes.
Birds are the fish of the whatever. So at this point, Karras has a clear opportunity to kick 117 off and doesn't because it's quite badly choreographed.
Yeah.
And in the end, Karras falls off. Meanwhile, Club Blofeld, I wrote Club Blofeld because of his shirt. Gay Blofeld is like trying to hit the self-destruct lever. And I'm like, oh, yeah, right. He's going to hit the self-destruct lever as they run out of the mansion. Like, blow it up dramatically, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, he actually doesn't manage. And also, Karras isn't like thrown off the roof in any way. He genuinely slips coming off a ladder and just goes off the side.
Ladder safety is very important. I also write down at this point, no word on that doctor then.
Wouldn't worry about it.
Which doctor?
The hot one.
She just left.
She's out of here.
Movie.
No word on that geisha lady then.
I imagine they'll get arrested.
Yeah. No word on Hitler! Did Hitler just get away? Am I going to say, did Hitler get away? Like,
yeah, no, I see. But
OSS 117, I feel like you had a more urgent mission here.
Hitler doing the dive out of the window from Danger 5.
Where's Hitler, dog? I feel like you should have eyes on that guy.
Do we have eyes on Hitler? Do we have eyes on Hitler?
Use some eyeballs on the Hitler.
Did he get away? Has he been arrested? Did it make the news? Is he in the next one?
Cannot confirm Hitler.
The like French army are like outside and they're like, we've got the place surrounded. And OSS 117 is like, chill. I'm going to take Aisha. I'm going to get in this helicopter. I'm going to fuck off.
And they go, nice. All right.
Anton Chekhov is furious in the back of the theater. He's like, no, what? No, what about blowing up with the leave? No.
He didn't crank.
He didn't crank that shit.
Chekhov's Hitler.
And so they get in the helicopter. Aisha's trying to like kiss and fuck and make out with him in such a way that it looks very much like he's going to end the movie by crashing the fucking helicopter. And And then you get the like end.
Yeah.
And that's the fucking movie.
My notes say you couldn't afford to blow up the set. Why do you have the same music in the credits? Where is Hitler?
Shut your mouth, baby.
Don't worry about it.
These movies, they like to leave you with a couple of questions, you know? Questions like, did Hitler get away?
Yeah.
Was that Hitler?
I think...
You can't just show me Hitler and then
Put
not...
Hitler in the film and then not tell me what happened.
It's just a background joke. Just
Maybe
like, there's Hitler.
maybe it's a coincidence.
Except it's not a background. There's a frame that's just Hitler.
Maybe it's a coincidence that guy looks a lot like Hitler.
Yeah, I guess, you know, maybe he already had the mustache and he thought that, like, if he shaved it, it was giving in.
Maybe he was playing Hitler in another movie and he had, like, a conflict, so he had
If my boss was gay, I don't think I would dress as Hitler.
I think in many senses my boss is gay and I haven't dressed as Hitler at any point.
Whereas if your boss wasn't, if I wasn't gay, you would dress as Hitler.
If you were straight, I'd be dressed as Hitler right now. Let me just tell you that for free.
Okay, if my boss was gay, I double wouldn't dress as Hitler.
It won't affect the podcast because this is pure audio, but we would be dressed as Hitler.
The most controversial set of live show themed outfits.
I guess. Listeners, you don't know that we're not. Like,
I can tell you that we're not, but do you believe me?
Oh, no one's drawing little like chibi art of us in that live show fits. For the live show where we dressed as Hitler.
Admittedly,
no.
that was poorly thought out. I thought it would be because like we want to dress in the flight suits for the Top Gun thing.
Yeah,
I thought if we all dressed up like Hitler, it would be it.
Yeah.
But, I see the problem. That's fine. And for the Lawrence of Arabia live show, I've got some ideas as well. But
Oh, I've been there.
we have a Hitler-based system on this podcast.
You're talking about Adolf Hitler.
Yes! Okay.
We have a science-based system
yeah,
on this podcast. It's called the Scum System. And it stands for
SMARM, cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence, and misogyny.
Yes,
I
it
think
does.
it's probably going to get a pretty high SMARM score because they're
Yeah.
constantly doing little fucking lines to each other, even though they're not very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, high SMARM, very high SMARM. OSS has a pretty high SMARM threshold. Higher than Bond, actually, in a lot of cases.
It's been smarmier, though, the series. Like,
Oh, again, it's because this guy looks hot.
That's
That's the
true.
problem. A lot of the Euro spies have similar lines being delivered by, like, the worst looking man I've ever seen. This guy looks kind of nice with it.
You're doing the HR meme?
Except, yes, 100%.
Yeah. 5, 6?
5? On that basis? I'm not sure if we want to establish the precedent that it's okay to be smarmy if you're hot, but like every day of my fucking life. Cultural insensitivity. Full on brown face.
Yeah.
Fully
Full-on brown face. Just did
Yeah.
brown face, yeah.
I don't love the a completely non-character cardboard cutout geisha lady either.
Yeah, not
I don't like that they sort of imply that Gay Spectre is a worldwide Jewish conspiracy. I don't like that
Yeah.
the plot of this is two North African tribes that are just not named. They're just
Yep.
tribes generally.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
There's a lot not to like about this, if I had to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
peace between them is only going to be established by like one
By a
white guy
One white guy,
who is
yeah.
magic.
6?
Yeah, I think I could do 6. Sure.
I'll see 6.
This one's probably going to save it.
Unprovoked violence. I mean,
Not a ton.
no. I mean, like he hits the like mustache guy with the foam, but the mustache guy is clearly there to like murder him. So
Yeah.
also, who was that guy and why? Who does he work for? Why was he there?
I don't know who he worked for, really. Yeah.
There's no real reason for him to do any of the things that he did.
Yeah, who was he working for? Was he just a rogue?
Who's that guy?
The mustache man is a sort of complex character who has his own interests.
Yeah, what the fuck was that guy? Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah, we just accept the presence of henchmen in these films and we never stop to ask, like, wait, what's this
Who's
guy
he
doing?
gooning for?
Yeah.
Whose goon is this? Please come and collect your goon.
That's a good point.
Who was that guy?
What were you doing, man?
Getting on the tannoy, I'm like, there's a goon at the fucking cheese counter. Could whoever's in charge of this guy come get him?
You in the wrong film?
Yeah,
Is it unprovoked if we don't know who he works for?
I think that's pretty provoked. Like he's just an unknown man.
He just
I
attacks.
don't know who he is.
No one claims.
I guess it's still unprovoked if you don't know who his employer is.
He's in his hotel room. Like, I think that's a kinetic situation for anyone. Like,
Yeah.
Just stand your
okay.
ground. It's fine.
One?
Yeah, that's fine. The only other unprovoked violence I think would have to be folded into misogyny, which is the incredible violence of fake kidnapping this young woman and threatening her with death in order to extract information from her, which you then use you having saved her from that situation to gain consent for sexual intercourse with her, which is not good.
Yeah, the whole sort of like looking through like glossies of like women to like establish your cover at the start. Similarly,
Don't like that.
but that's misogyny, I think,
Yeah.
more than it is unprovoked violence. So I
Yeah,
Well,
so-
1 for unprovoked violence,
think
and then
so.
maybe like a 5 or a 6 for misogyny.
Yeah.
I do a 5. I think
Yeah, okay.
we've given the
Yeah,
same
okay.
for worse. I think.
That gives it a total score of 17, which is worse than the Charlie's Angels films, not the first one.
I mean,
It's on a par. It's kind of like one of the bad man from Uncles. Yeah, it's pretty par for the course for OSS 117, the series, actually.
I'll be honest. Until the sort of collapse of the last act, I was pretty much enjoying this. Like, I had fun with this.
I still enjoyed the last act, even. It just wasn't good.
Yeah, I got bored about halfway through. It writes a big check with Cello Hitler, and I just
Yeah, you dumped
like-
that really early in the movie.
yeah.
I also like that is the end of the news. And then
Yeah.
the news
Yeah.
turns off. I think that's good. All the cars in here, it goes without saying, are incredible.
Mhm.
The print looks phenomenal. I just...
Oh, an isogrifo. Yeah.
Technicolor, take me back.
Mm.
It would not be difficult to just start doing Technicolor again. You just need to not pay actors $30 million per fucking movie. Just use that money for something.
No, actually, I think we should do that.
That's right. These actors, they've had it too good for too long.
No, I think actors should be paid more, actually.
You want to pay Hitler more to be in this movie? Interesting.
I think normal type actors should be paid more. I think the top echelon should maybe be paid something to a factor of 10 to a factor of 100 less.
Well, I mean, this is the kind of power that you get from union collective bargaining, isn't it?
That's right.
Hmm.
I know it's easy for me to hate from outside the club.
Hmm.
Next bonus episode, I believe, is my pick, which makes it Cruising with Al Pacino.
Fuck yes.
Mm.
Hell yes.
We're gonna watch Cruising. Fucking rules. It doesn't stick the landing, but it's fantastic, and I'm so happy that it exists. As
I
a
love
movie.
yeah.
Pride Month. It may not even come out in Pride Month, but I love Pride Month.
Hmm.
It will just. It's
Just
the last,
about.
last week of Pride. Whatever. I'm not gonna stop having Pride.
No.
And that'll be
yeah.
on the Patreon, which is patreon.com/killjamesbond, all one word. It is still only £5 for a whole month. This is my Costco hot dog. I will not be letting the price of this come down. They'll have to kill me. Go up, I say.
Come down. It fucking better hadn't. Like,
I won't be letting the prices come down either, if I had to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
this price will not be increased. It's a good deal.
It's a good deal. It's a good time. We have a lot of fun here. And
Yeah.
hopefully you will too. If you do subscribe already, thank you so much. And we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Au revoir.
You're talking about Adolf Hitler.
Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. In 2 weeks' time, on the free feed, it's yet another Eurospy. I'm just waiting for it to load in front of me here on the computer. It's Some Girls Do. It's the sequels are deadlier than the male. Let's fucking go. That shit might be okay. Let's find out. I'm willing to believe. But if that is simply too long for you to wait, next week, on the bonus feed on patreon.com/killjamesbond, you can find The Birdcage with just myself and Abigail. November was predisposed. So it's a rare combo. Had a lot of fun. I think it's a really good episode. Now I've got 92 of you fuckers' names to read out, so let's just really crack straight ahead with that. Thanks to all of our patrons or whatever, but like special thanks, of course, to our £15 and above patrons, and those are Lo Bjornsdotter, Candy Fox, Freya Aloysius, Gustavo Lira, Jack Holmes, Jordan Gammy, Mike Berg, Hannah Oberhart, Nick Boris, Jason Hager, Naoto Mori, George Rohak, Kentucky Fried Commie, Drone Lover, Yarrick, Melody Moro Gonzalez, Labor Delenda Est, J. Martindale, Trip, Tarp, O, Jonathan Gerd, Max Gemeinhard, Mothman, Jack Drummond, Beef Crime, Kit Devine, Library Hitman, Stazikins, Lyndon Rose, Anne Hedonia, Maeve Victoria Roth, Rosie Can't Fail, Anya Top, Troy Hudson, Artemis, Beth Lucy Stab, Forrest L. Norvell, Emery, Arthur Sex Crimes, The Project, Whitney Wolverine, Claire, Loretta Mazur, Dem Fatale, Joyous Uwu, Touchable Tips, Zan Hutchin, Just the Worst, Ash Not in Florida, Hell, This Is Just a Slur typed out. I can't say this. Cayenne Beneldonna, Lenina Skadach, Trans Commissar Sorsha, some sort of silly Canadian creature, a trans robot, Steve Widdershins, Violet Cybra, Annie Ruby, Rope Trick 2024, Clarification, Bronan, Alex, Noblesse Oblahai, Connor's Cool Big Sister, Isopod Gal, Gay Perry, Walscott, Liz and Ash, Still in India, Corvid Cultist, John 2089, Seng Shen, Lady Ariane, Quinn Valeri, Philippa Smith is currently a line intersecting a plane at an angle of less than 90 degrees. And we all know what that means. Wolfie is normal, Robert Greensmith, Abigail, Mega Combi, Finn, Ross, Al Irving, Misidentified Lemon, Cariad, Loz Pycock, Pandora Hex, Zoe Shepherd, Josh Simmons, Off to the Protests, I'll Pick You Up on the Way, Emily, Queen of Sloths, Lauren Bastin, Talkative Tiger, and, on Pride Month, saying this one last, Turfs, Eat Shit and Die Alone. Kill James Bond is November, Abigail, and Devon. Our producer is the wonderful Mr. Naboth Bay. Our podcast art is by Matty Lubchansky. And our website is by Tom Allen. Bye.